All right, let's dive into something that I think affects pretty much all of us.
Yeah.
Inflammation. You reached out, you wanted to learn a bit more about this,
Right.
and you sent over this really cool article that had tons of information in it.
It's a fascinating topic.
Yeah, about what inflammation is, how it can become chronic and a real problem,
Yeah,
and then, best of all, what we can do to fight back against it.
absolutely.
So there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, there is.
But I think one of the things that really jumped out at me at the beginning was this idea that inflammation,
Yeah.
it can be good or bad.
It's a double-edged sword for sure.
Right. Like, it's not always a bad thing.
Absolutely not.
And the article had this really vivid analogy, talking about it like a fire inside of us.
Yeah, like a fire.
So how is inflammation like a fire?
Well, when you think about if you get a cut or you injure yourself somehow
Oh, yeah.
and the area gets red and swollen and hot,
Yeah.
that's inflammation.
Okay.
It's your body's natural response to injury or to infection.
So it's a good thing.
Initially, yes.
Okay.
It's your body's way of protecting itself.
Like our own little firefighters.
Exactly. It's sending all the firefighters in, which are the white blood cells,
Uh-huh.
to go to the site of the injury or the infection and to clean up any debris or pathogens that are there and start the repair process.
Okay, I see.
But just like a fire,
Yeah.
you want it to eventually
Go out.
go out.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's where the problem comes in when we talk about chronic inflammation.
Yes.
Right.
Chronic inflammation is when that fire just keeps burning.
Yeah, just smoldering away in there.
It's like having the fire department at your house 24/7,
Oh, yeah.
even when there's no fire.
Right.
So all that activity starts to damage the healthy tissues around it.
Right. So that constant state of kind of being on alert is what's really damaging.
Exactly. And that's linked to a lot of chronic diseases.
Yeah.
Heart disease, diabetes,
The article mentioned Alzheimer's even.
Alzheimer's, many cancers,
Yeah.
autoimmune diseases.
So it's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, it's really serious. And what's scary is that it can go on for years without any symptoms.
Oh, wow.
So you might not even know that you have this simmering inflammation.
That's kind of scary.
It is.
So that's why it's so important to understand it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to figure out what we can do.
Yeah.
Now, one of the tools that the article talked about that I found really fascinating was this thing called the Dietary Inflammatory Index.
Yeah, have you ever heard of that?
I haven't.
It's pretty cool.
It sounds kind of complicated.
It's not really that complicated.
Okay.
Basically, it's a way of ranking different foods based on how likely they are to either cause or reduce inflammation in the body.
So does it give foods like a score?
Yeah, it assigns a score to each food.
Okay.
And the higher the score, the more pro-inflammatory the food is.
So like the higher the score,
Yeah.
the more it's going to contribute to that fire burning inside.
Yeah, fanning the flames. And then the lower the score, the more anti-inflammatory it is.
So like helping to put the fire out.
Exactly.
Now, what I found really interesting
Yeah.
was looking at some of the foods that were on this list because there were some surprises for me.
Yeah. What surprised you?
Well, things like green tea and dark chocolate
Yeah.
are considered anti-inflammatory superstars.
They are. They are.
And then on the other hand,
Yeah.
things that we often think of as being not so healthy, like processed meats and sugary drinks,
Right.
those are very pro-inflammatory.
They are.
So it really does make you think about those everyday choices that you're making.
It does. And it's not about being perfect.
Right.
Because no single food is going to make or break your health.
Right.
It's really about looking at the overall dietary pattern.
Right. So the big picture.
Yeah, the big picture over time.
Okay, I see.
And making sure that you're consistently choosing more anti-inflammatory foods
Okay.
than pro-inflammatory foods.
Now, the article also talked about
Yeah.
specific drinks that are really good at fighting inflammation,
Oh, yeah, there are some interesting ones.
like noni juice, matcha tea,
Yes.
nettle tea. What are some of the benefits of those?
Well, each one has its own kind of unique properties.
Okay.
Like noni juice, for example, is a traditional Polynesian remedy
Okay.
that has been used for centuries for its anti-inflammatory and immune-boosting properties.
Oh, wow.
Matcha,
Yeah.
that you mentioned, is rich in antioxidants,
Uh-huh.
particularly one called EGCG,
EGCG.
which has been shown to be very potent in fighting inflammation.
Okay.
And then nettle tea has actually been used in traditional medicine for ages.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for things like arthritis.
Wow.
So it's really interesting to see how these ancient remedies are now being backed up by modern science.
And it's so cool that we're learning more about them all the time.
It is.
And it's giving us more tools to help us fight inflammation.
Exactly, yeah.
So we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
about what inflammation is,
Mm-hmm.
why it's a problem when it becomes chronic,
Yeah.
and some of the things that we can do to fight back,
Right.
like through diet
Mm-hmm.
and these specific drinks. But I want to get into more specifics about how we can actually,
Yeah, let's get practical.
put this into practice in our daily lives.
Absolutely.
What are some things that we can actually do?
All right, let's talk about that. So we talked about the dietary inflammatory index
Yeah.
and how being mindful of,
Mhm.
our food choices
Right.
can help. But it's not just what we eat, right? It's
Yeah.
about our overall lifestyle.
Yeah, the article talks about that too.
Yeah.
It's not just about diet. It's about
Yeah.
exercise and sleep
Absolutely.
and managing stress.
It all plays a role.
It's like a whole body approach.
Yeah, for sure.
So when we're stressed out,
Mm-hmm.
what happens in the body?
Well, when you're yeah.
Your body releases cortisol.
Right.
And cortisol is a hormone that can actually trigger inflammation.
Oh, so stress is like adding fuel to the fire.
It is. It is.
No wonder I always want to eat junk food when I'm stressed out.
Yeah, that's a common reaction.
So that's why it's so important
Yeah,
to find those healthy ways to manage stress.
exactly.
Now, the article mentions yoga and meditation.
Yeah, those are great options.
Have you found those helpful in your life?
I have. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely found both yoga and meditation to be helpful.
Now, meditation's always seemed kind of intimidating to me.
I know it can seem that way,
Yeah.
but there are so many resources available now.
Oh, are there?
Oh yeah, like apps and classes.
Oh.
And even just taking a few minutes each day
Mm-hmm.
to focus on your breath can make a big difference.
So baby steps.
Baby steps, exactly.
Okay, I can handle that.
Yeah. All right, what about exercise?
Oh, yeah. What kind of exercise
Yeah.
is best for fighting inflammation? Well, the good news is you don't have to be a marathon runner.
Okay, that's good.
The article talks about moderate intensity exercise,
Like what?
things like brisk walking or swimming or cycling.
Okay, so getting my heart rate up,
Yeah, getting your heart rate up.
but not overdoing it.
Exactly.
And what about strength training?
Strength training is also really important
Oh, okay.
because building muscle mass can actually help regulate inflammation.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's not just about burning calories.
So it's about,
It's about building resilience.
Yeah.
And the benefits go beyond just the physical.
Yeah.
Because exercise has been shown to reduce stress hormones, improve sleep quality,
right,
boost mood,
which we need.
all things that contribute to a less inflamed body.
Oh, wow. So it all kind of works together.
It does.
Like, we can't just focus on one thing.
No, it's all interconnected.
It's about the whole lifestyle.
Absolutely. It's about creating a lifestyle
Yeah.
that supports overall well-being.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Now, I want to go back to those anti-inflammatory drinks for a second.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned matcha.
Yes.
What's so special about that?
Matcha is packed with antioxidants,
Okay.
especially this one called EGCG.
Right, we talked about that.
Yeah.
EGCG, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, EGCG.
Okay.
And EGCG has been shown to target specific inflammatory pathways in the body.
Oh, wow.
So it's a really powerful anti-inflammatory.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then what about nettle tea?
Nettle tea has actually been used in traditional medicine for centuries
Oh, really?
for inflammatory conditions
Like what?
like arthritis.
Wow, so this is not just some like old wives' tale.
Oh, not at all.
This is actually
That saves
science
the-
backing it up.
Wow, so these natural remedies,
Yeah.
they really do seem to have some power.
They do. They do.
It's like this ancient wisdom
Yeah,
meeting modern science.
exactly.
I love that.
It's really fascinating.
Now, I don't want to get too carried away.
Talking about tea and stuff.
Right.
But I want to bring it back to the
Okay.
bigger picture.
Sure.
What's the key takeaway here?
I think the key takeaway is that we have more control over our health than we realize.
Mm-hmm.
We can make choices
Yeah.
about our lifestyle
Right.
that can reduce inflammation.
So it's empowering.
It is empowering.
It's not just about being afraid of inflammation.
Right.
It's about understanding it
Yeah. And
and taking action.
taking action. Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Now, there's another really important piece of this
Oh, yeah.
that the article highlights.
What's that?
Sleep.
Ah, yes. Sleep.
Why is sleep so important when it comes to inflammation?
Sleep is crucial for regulating our hormones.
Okay.
And remember how we talked about stress hormones fueling inflammation?
Right.
When we don't get enough sleep,
Yeah.
our bodies produce more of those stress hormones.
So lack of sleep equals more inflammation.
Exactly. It's like a double whammy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
Poor sleep also disrupts our immune system,
Oh, gosh.
making us more susceptible to infections.
That's so
And then that
right.
further fuels the inflammatory response.
Super important.
Yeah, sleep is so important.
All right. I'm convinced. But in today's world,
Yeah.
we're all so busy.
Right.
How do we make sure we're getting enough sleep?
That's a great question. And there are some practical things you can do.
Yeah.
The article talks about creating a sleep sanctuary.
Oh, a sleep sanctuary.
Yeah, so making sure that your bedroom is cool and dark and quiet.
Okay, yeah.
Invest in blackout curtains,
Right.
a white noise machine, whatever you need to kind of create that
Peaceful,
restful environment.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that digital detox.
Yeah.
So limiting screen time in the hours before bed.
I know.
It's hard.
But I do it.
It is hard.
In bed.
But that blue light from our devices
Yeah.
can really interfere with our sleep.
It does.
Yes.
And then we don't get as good a sleep.
Exactly. And then the final tip
Okay.
is to establish a consistent sleep schedule.
Ooh, this is a tough one.
I know.
The weekends.
It is tough. I like to sleep in.
But try to go to bed
Yeah.
and wake up around the same time each day.
Even on the weekends.
Even on the weekends, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to try.
It's tough, but it...
really helps regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle.
Okay, so
And then you'll find that you fall asleep easier
it'll make it easier.
and wake up feeling more refreshed.
So it's about making those small changes,
Yeah.
but consistent.
Small changes.
Okay.
Consistently applied.
All right, I can do that.
Make a big difference.
You know what I'm realizing
Yeah.
as we talk about this?
Yeah.
Is that reducing inflammation. It's not just about like a specific diet or exercise routine.
Like-
It's really about
It's about
this holistic approach.
Yeah, the holistic approach to life. Exactly.
It's about how we're treating our bodies.
It is.
Yeah.
It's about nourishing our bodies with nutrient-rich foods,
Uh-huh.
moving our bodies regularly,
Right.
prioritizing restful sleep, managing stress effectively.
Yeah, it all works together.
It's all connected.
Okay, I'm getting it.
Good. I'm glad.
So I think we've covered
Yeah, we've covered
a lot of ground
so
here
a lot of
in
ground.
this deep dive on inflammation.
Wow.
And I hope our listener is
Mhm.
feeling empowered
I hope so too.
to take some action
Yeah.
and make some positive changes.
Absolutely.
And remember, it's those small changes
Yes.
done consistently
Yeah.
that can really make a big difference.
That's the key.
Now, if you want more info on this,
Yeah.
be sure to check out that article that you sent over.
Yeah. It's a great resource
It really is.
for learning more about this topic.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
on this deep dive
Is it fun?
into inflammation.
Absolutely.
So we've covered so much about inflammation.
We have.
But I'm wondering,
Yeah.
are there any other kind of surprising or lesser-known things
Yeah.
we can do to help fight it?
Well, you know how we've been talking about how everything's interconnected?
Right.
There's actually a really fascinating connection between our gut health and inflammation.
Wait, my gut, what does that
Yeah.
have to do with inflammation in my whole body?
So our gut is home to trillions of bacteria.
Right.
And these bacteria play a huge role in our overall health,
Okay.
including inflammation.
So we want to keep our gut bacteria happy.
We do. We want to keep them happy and healthy.
Okay, how do we do that?
It really comes down to feeding them the right stuff.
Okay.
Prebiotics and probiotics are key here.
I've heard those terms before, but
Yeah.
remind me, what's the difference?
So prebiotics are kind of like fertilizer for the good bacteria in our gut.
Okay.
And they're found in foods like onions, garlic, bananas, asparagus.
Okay.
Probiotics, on the other hand, are the actual beneficial bacteria themselves.
So prebiotics feed the good guys and probiotics are the good guys.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And the article mentions fermented foods like yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut
Right.
as great sources of probiotics.
Okay, so that's why fermented foods are so good for us.
Yeah, it's all about those good gut bacteria.
They help keep inflammation down.
Exactly.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's amazing how much we're still learning about the gut microbiome
It really is.
and its impact on our overall health.
Okay, so switching gears a little bit.
Yeah.
The article also talks about some supplements
Yeah.
that can potentially help with inflammation.
Uh-huh.
Is that something worth considering?
It's something that a lot of people are talking about,
Okay.
but it's important to approach supplements with caution.
All right. I always feel a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
We go to the supplement aisle.
So many
There's just so many
options.
options. I don't even know where to start.
It's easy to get lost in all the marketing.
Yeah.
Remember, supplements should complement a healthy lifestyle,
Okay.
not replace it.
So food first,
Food first, absolutely.
supplements if needed.
Exactly.
And it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor
Yes, always a good idea.
before starting any new supplement.
Yeah, especially if you have any underlying health conditions.
Right. Or you're on other medication.
Or you're taking other medication.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They can help you figure out what's right for you.
They can help personalize it.
Exactly.
Well, I feel like we've really
Yeah.
unpacked this whole inflammation thing.
We have.
We've learned so much
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
about what it is, why it's a problem, how to fight it.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most important thing
Mm.
for people to remember?
I think the most important thing is that we have the power to make choices
Right.
that support our health.
So it's empowering.
It is empowering,
Oh,
absolutely.
okay, I love that.
And remember, this is just the beginning
Oh, yeah.
of the journey.
We're always learning.
There's always more to learn and explore.
All right, well, on that note,
Yeah,
I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive.
that's good.
Thanks for joining us
Thanks for having me.
on this fascinating exploration of inflammation.
It was fun.
Until next time,
Yeah.
stay curious,
Stay curious.
stay informed,
Stay informed.
and stay well.
And stay well.